So, let me tell y'all how I ended up in the US on the work and travel program, because trust me, the journey was not easy. From getting the visa to traveling on the plane, my first day at work, everything. I'm about to spill the tea. But first, let's have some matcha. This is now my new favorite drink. Yeah. I remember the first time when I heard about the program. I was young, I was going to school, and my neighbors, I had neighbors who would travel under the program and people in my community, and I would wonder how them people travel a go foreign and my mother not travel. How I go on? Somebody can bust my mother. That was always my thought growing up, as a child. As I got older, time would pass and I would ask around, or people would tell me, say, oh, ask your MP, because the MP will give you a paper for sign up, all of that stuff. But you know how it goes with those people. They only give people who they really know. Like, you have to have links. They always say links carry you through the world. Yeah, back then I used to believe that saying, in which some part of it is true and in some part is not true. Fast forward, at the time I was living in Kingston, I was working at a call center. The call center name, I think it was ITEL. Yes, at the time, 2018 January, I was working at no, wait. Yeah. So January 2018, I was working at ITEL BPO. That's the name of the call center. And I remember that job. I literally just got that job. And I remember one day my sister called me and she said, girl, guess what? So I say, what? Good news. So I say, alright, I walk one. At that time, you know how call center work, you get a 15-minute break, then a 30-minute break. So I was on my 15-minute break at the time, and she called and she said, yeah, go foreign, a girl, me get a bus and you go foreign. So I said, yeah, I'm like, what? I'm kind of confused now, because I say, what she talk about? What you mean me I go foreign? I don't even remember if at the time I had my passport, because back then I lost my passport and I had to go through a whole process just to get it back. So me I say, what she talk about? I was thinking she is pranking me, or she was about to scam me of my little call center money. I just say, yeah, girl, you go foreign, you go foreign. And I say, guys, the way how I was excited, you know what I did? I didn't even stay at work. I ran to my supervisor and I told them, listen, I have a family emergency and I had to go, because I didn't want to hear all of the tea that my sister was about to tell me. You know what I mean? I left work, I went home, and she was like, alright, so the place that I did my J1, that last year was my final year, and they had told me that they would want me to work for them long term, and I told them she told them to file for H2B, and it came through, and they did, and they want at least, I think at the time it was six people or 10 people, I don't remember, but my sister was one of the persons in charge to find a few workers for the company, guys. When I tell you, me glad bag, when me tell you I'm glad bag boss, me quit the job. I quit my call center job because I hear say me I got foreign now, guys. Mind you, this was January 2018. So she said, alright, we're gonna go foreign and I'm going to tell you everything. So in my mind now, I say, but I don't have no money. How am I gonna pay for visa? I started thinking all of those things, not realizing I have a job can actually afford, to do whatever. So you know what I did? At the time I was in Kingston living with my grandma, and my son was also there with me. Yes, guys, I have a if you never know, I have a son. He is going to be 14 years old this year. 14 or 15? 14 or 15? I don't remember. What a shame. So, guys, when me tell you say me start fi all pack up. Remember now, me no get through with the visa paperwork or anything, me start pack up my things them and my grandmother. Me start pack up my things them and my grandmother and say me I go a country, because at the time my sister and my siblings and mom, they were at living in the country. So me start pack up and say me I go a country because me I go a foreign. I remember even telling my grandma that she's going to be responsible for my son and whatever. And then my mom said, no, I should bring my son to her. That is the reason why my son is living with my mother right now, because I have to be back and forth on the program. Yeah, but we're gonna save that for another time. Anyways, me pack up my accoutrements, guys, all of me little bag, all of me little things them. And about a couple weeks after that, I moved back to the country. Right? Fast forward now, when wait, me shouldn't even tell another part there, because me not telling you how the interview go yet. Alright, so at the time it was at Dairy Queen. I'm not going to disclose the location, but it was in North Carolina and it was at Dairy Queen. So my sister told me that her manager would reach out to me. They're going to do like an interview. If you prepare up myself, but I started to get nervous because I'm saying an interview. Me don't want to do an interview because those things make you, like, will literally make you nervous and make you just not want to do it. Right? But then we set up Skype. That's the first time I ever had a Skype account. Set up Skype and I got the information, and the lady called me. She was so sweet. And guys, that was not even an interview. That was not even an interview. I kid you not. That was not an interview. All she did was she was like, hey Vanessa, so this summer is gonna be a very busy summer and we just need some people to manage the registers, the drive-through, make ice cream and this and that and that or whatever. She was basically explaining the rules that were there and what I'm gonna do, the ins and outs, all of that. And she was just, getting to know me. I was telling her a little about myself. It was more like a one-on-one and not an interview. To me, it was not an interview. So when you're applying for a job, guys, and you're going to do an interview, not get so nervous about it, because sometimes the employers are so nice. They will literally just talk to you, explain stuff to you, and that's it. They're not going to like drill you like young babe. They're not going to drill you like some high end. Well, I'm not gonna say that. They're not going to drill you. Alright, it's just always going to be like a one-on-one rap. Alright, I'm gonna reach now. Yeah, so we talked and we did a little Skype interview, and then like probably a week after that, she started to send paperwork and stuff and all of that. Mind you, I never traveled before. My sister have been traveling for a very long time. So it was like probably 5 years or 4, because she went to college and she did the J1. So me don't know nothing about plane, me don't know nothing about airport, me don't know nothing about visa, me don't know nothing. But she was walking me through the steps and say, hey, you don't need to worry. Me and you will do this together. We got the paperwork, and we were the ones who actually did we were the ones who was supposed to do the visa application. But at that time, my sister had known someone who could do the whole signing up of visa application and all of that. So we did not have to do none of that. But yeah, the company did not work with an agency in Jamaica at the time. Right now they are working with an agency, I believe, but at the time they were not working with an agency. So we did the visa application, got our appointments, and we went to the embassy in February. Remember now, this was January. I think we went to the embassy in March actually. And we got our visas, we were approved. No. While we were at the interview, at the embassy, they only asked us 3 questions. It was a group of us. I think it was 4 of us at the time. Myself, my sister, my friend Tanik, and at the time 2 other persons. They asked me if where I'm going, what I'm going to do, and one more thing. If I ever been there before. And when they asked me, I said I was going to be a crew member. I told them the address where I'm going to stay, and I also said, what then did ask me again? They asked me if I've ever been traveled before, and I said no. And I got my white paper. All of us did. We got through, and we got our books within a week time. Guys, when me telling you, say excited to get we white paper, I say, alright, we have to go start line up myself now. Me I say shit I get real. Start pack my little suitcase. At the time I didn't even have a suitcase, guys. I used one of my sister's suitcase, to be honest. Pack up my little accoutrements them. I wish I had a photo of the first time when I was traveling, because Una would have laughed me to scar. I was so tiny. I was so tiny, guys. People in my background must have wonder where I'm going. But anyways, when I watched that, I was so tiny. Alright, fast forward now to the first time traveling to the airport. Got to the airport and all of us meet up. It was 6 of us, 1 male and 5 females, and we were all cool and everything. And I'm not gonna tell you, like, it was a long flight, and the journey to get to the location, that was another thing. That was another thing, guys. It was a long journey. I'm not going to lie. First time going on the plane, I was so excited. I wanted to sit at the window. Me take picture till me week. But then the time there, I had like a iPhone 6s Plus. So it quality never so good. So I never get a nice picture. But yeah, take me look a picture them and go through. Got there. When we got there, we actually started working the following day. No, we went to the paperwork the following day, and then after that we started to train. So when you get there, when we got there, I did not have a social security, and they took me to do all of that within a week time, and everything, the onboarding was very smooth, because it's my first time, but my sister was well experienced, so she showed me how to do most of the paperwork and stuff like that. Because when you're doing onboarding, you have to fill out the tax form, so when the time comes for you to get your tax return and all of that. Yeah, girl reach a foreign now. But wait, the first time when we reach a foreign, when we come off the plane and cola lick me, guys. We wear one little thin mesh sweater. I remember that. Cola, 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 cola. Hear me? I foreign this how everybody I talk about them time there. Where I was driving, pure bush, pure tree. Me can't see no big skyscraper building, none of that. But the first time traveling was a pretty good experience. Fast forward now to my first day on the job. First day on the job was very smooth, very amazing, very simple. Nothing hard, nothing out of the ordinary. When I tell you that work and travel work is very easy, believe me, guys, it's very, very, very easy compared to the jobs in Jamaica. Right? I was a cashier, and also sometimes I would be on the grill, sometimes I would be at the back. I work all around. And it was an ice cream place. If you don't know Dairy Queen, go and search up Dairy Queen. You will see they sell ice cream, burgers, all of those other stuff, smoothies, milkshakes and stuff like that. So me I talk about easy work, guys. The hardest part for me while I was working was just that when it gets really busy, you don't really get any time. I'm not gonna lie, and even on a day off, they would call you to work. They would call you to work. Yeah, my first experience was very good. I'm not gonna lie, and that was 2018, as I said before, I heard about the job in January, and then I traveled in April of that year, and it was from April through to October. Yeah, that was a very good experience. The long hours can be very, very, very stressing, and what no one warned me about was a different cultural shock, because it was not just us as Jamaicans living in the house. We had Filipinos as well, people from Russia, people from Croatia, people from all over the place were there, and they were all kids. But them not clean, them nasty. The cultural shock had me in depression for a long time. That was very, very tense for me. That was a big change for me at a point. No, the first year, me never room with them. I don't even remember who my roommates were the first year. And with this place that I work, I went there 2 years. So I went there 2018 and 2019. And in 2020, we were supposed to go with them, but because of the whole COVID situation, they did not bother. They got the petition, but they did not bother to take us up because it was too late. Yeah, so I sat out 2020 with that job. Fast forward now, 2020 come, COVID hits. I was in Jamaica working. 2021 now, my sister again link me and say, listen, me have a link, where I get a link for go up, and this is what send me a resume, blah blah blah. At the time, my resume was not looking very professional, but I sent it, and then I did an interview. That interview was just the same as the first one. This time around, I was coming to Michigan, not the same place where I'm at right now, but close by, like 20 minutes away. And I did the interview for there, and this time around, we traveled with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in Kingston, 1 North Street, Kingston. Boy, me can't forget that place. Right? And that now, the experience with ministry, my first experience with ministry was exhausting. I'm not going to lie. It was very, very, very exhausting because they have me all over the place. I run up and down. Plus, it was my first time traveling with them, so because I was not in their system, I had to be doing a lot of stuff. They send me here and there and there and there. At a point, even though I was living in Kingston, that side of town, I don't know. So I was back and forth from downtown to 1 North Street because I had to go and pay the visa fee at the bank, and then me have to go giant line. That part was not a good experience, but now that me so keen on everything, go through that with breeze. So yeah, 2021 I went with ministry. It was not a fun experience with them, as I said. And then when I came up with ministry, I stayed in the US for 3 years or 2.5 years, and I came back in 2023. So I did 2 extensions. I extended 2 times or 3 times, and then I came home November 2023. I have videos there of me when I was coming back to Jamaica in 2023 for the first time, surprising my mom, son, siblings. Yeah, so you guys can go and watch that video. It's there. Then 2024, which was last year, I didn't get the chance to return with any of my old employers, so I started to seek jobs on my own. And I would normally be on live with Cece and Ali, and I met this girl. Her name was Shireen. I remember she sent me an inbox and said a DM, a private message saying, girl, because I was saying I wasn't sure if I was going to travel last year, 2024, because my son was going to graduate prep school, and I wanted to be there for the graduation, and I didn't want to travel that year. And I remember when she reached out to me and she said, girl, if I get the opportunity, take it. And she started sending me emails of places I should apply to. and I applied to one and I got a job in Montauk, New York. Mm-hmm. And so I sent out the application. I don't remember if it was a Wednesday I sent it or I sent the email the Wednesday. I got a reply the Friday. This was in April 2024. April 2024, that's last year. So I sent the email on a Wednesday, I got a reply on a Friday. On the Monday, I got my paperwork. But this time around, I was the one who was going to be responsible for doing the paperwork. So no agency, nobody, just me alone. Just me alone. And I did everything on my own. I did my own visa application, everything. So the employer sent me everything that I needed. The job the job offer letter. He sent me the I-97 or I-94, and he sent me another notary paper, and then something to prove that yes, he got approved. And I had to get together everything that same day. When he sent me, I started getting my stuff together, went in the town, took my passport picture, came back home, go on the US embassy website, and I started my application. Paid my money. At the time it was $32,000 100 or 32,200, I don't remember, for the visa, right? And I didn't have to go in to the embassy for interview because I was a returnee. So I had just sent my book in with the courier. I went in my town and I found a drop-off spot for the passport. The courier took it up, bring it to the embassy, and I tracked it online. Also, that year I traveled with one person. Her name was Kim. I met a friend. I met someone, her name is Kim, and she was my roommate last year. We traveled together, we started to communicate together. I helped her with her application and all of that, and it was smooth, like smooth, smooth, smooth. Everything was perfect. We got our books, and the employer booked the flight. It was May 13, I believe. Remember now, me apply for the work in April, me get the work in April, and I left May of that year. The only reason why I'm not with that employer right now is because they had sold their property. But let me tell you, that was one of the best places I have ever worked on the program in New York. So everyone that I met there, big up on yourself, love on yourself. And again, I'm not going to call out the name of the place. Yeah, I'm not go to that and yeah, I would do that. But yeah, and then this year now, last year when I went to travel last year, the employer sold the property, so we had to come home in October. I was looking for extension at the time, but my visa end date was in September. So it was a very short, a September or October. No, the visa end date was early October. So it was like a sticky situation to seek extension. So I had to come home. I definitely had to come home. So I came home, did what I had to do. There again, now remember I play selling now. The boss selling place, so I not have no if it go again. So it's like I was back to square one, and most of the places that I worked in the past, I did not want to go back there. I wanted to try new places. Yeah, I wanted to try new places, and then ended up reaching out to this current employer that I'm at right now. And they sent me an email right away saying, yes, they have 2 spots available and they can this, that, whatever. It's me and my hobby. I will do another story time on how I got him to come on the program. Yeah, because I was I'll do a next story time on how he started the program, because it was a recommendation. So I'll do another story time about that. But yeah, where I'm at right now, it's me and hubby. It's hubby and I. So with this employer, we went through the Ministry of Labor again. So this time around, it's my second time traveling with the ministry. right? So it was a smoother process for me. I already know what to expect, what not to expect from the ministry. They took so long to call me, guys. At a point I was worried that I was not on that list. But again, I reached out to this current employer in March, and I traveled May 28th, few days after my birthday. And here I am right now doing what I need to do. This time around, I'm going to do extension. So after here, I'm going to head to my winter place. I already secured a winter job thanks to my sister. Shout out to you, girl. Shout out to you, girl. Yeah. To be honest, I met a lot of good people on the work and travel program. Good, both good and bad. I got in a few altercation with people, but guess what? That does not stop me from, coming and making money, because who don't want to come and make money? So I'm just saying to say, if you want to come on the program, just apply. Just apply. Just apply, because the H2B Work and Travel Program, it opened a lot of doors for me. Imagine working here and being able to accomplish stuff that you really wanted to get back then and could not afford. It opened a lot of doors for me. If you really want to do this thing, just apply. Just be prepared to put in the work. Nothing is easy in life, and if it come easy, it never stay long. So just apply, put in the work, don't give up, have some faith. Your faith, you see, if your faith small like a mustard seed, guys, it will move mountain. It will move mountains. The H2B program, it literally opened a lot of doors for me, and I am grateful. I am grateful, especially for my sister, because she was the one who made it happen for me, who changed my life, bro. I love you, bro. If you want more story times about the H2B Work and Travel Program from my experience, from my eye view, all you need to do is drop a comment, tell me what you would like to hear, and I will definitely put it into a video for you guys to have so much funny experiences to share. I cannot share everything in one video, but just comment, let me know what you want to know, what you want to hear, and moving forward in other vlogs, I'll incorporate my experiences in that. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. I love y'all.